Imagine a time when you don't worry about fluctuating gas prices. A time when the country is not worried about the price per barrel of importing crude oil. A time when we enjoy new sources of revenue to help stimulate the economy. A time when children can play outside without fear of developing breathing problems because they're inhaling polluted air. These changes can happen with ethanol. For those of you who don't know, fuel ethanol is generally produced by fermenting corn or other agricultural products into alcohol, which is then dehydrated and added to gasoline to create blends such as E10 or E85. The argument over this stems from whether or not the use of ethanol as a fuel source is as beneficial and cost-effective as supporters say it is. My proposition is that America needs to invest in ethanol technology as a means to help fuel automobiles. I will prove this to you guys in 3 ways. First, that ethanol as a fuel source helps reduce America's need for importing crude oil. Second, that ethanol production helps stimulate the economy by creating jobs and revenue. And third, that ethanol is better for the environment than gasoline. As I said before, my first point is that ethanol can help reduce America's need on importing crude oil. The Energy Information Administration recently released that in November 2008, the United States was importing, on average, 9.817 million barrels per day of crude oil from around the world. With more ethanol production coming from America, we can help reduce the trade deficit that has greatly increased from importing foreign oil. The U.S. Census Bureau lists that in 2005, the U.S. trade deficit was $716 billion. But in 2006, with ethanol replacing over 100 billion gallons of crude oil imports, the trade deficit was lowered by 6.9 billion just on that alone. Of the 9.817 million listed before, 2.185 million barrels were from places in the Middle East known for being conflict areas. By increasing the making of ethanol, the U.S. can reduce military costs in protecting oil supplies found in conflict areas. The U.S. Department of Defense claims that our paramount national security interest in the Middle East is maintaining the unhindered flow of oil from the Persian Gulf to world markets at stable prices. But when the U.S. General Accounting Office states that the protection is costing the upwards of $50 billion per year, what good is it? By investing in American-made fuel, we can reduce the amount of money going towards military spending to protect foreign oil. This will not only reduce money wasted overseas, but will help bring money into our economy generated by the manufacturing of ethanol. This brings me to my second point, that ethanol production helps stimulate the economy by producing jobs and revenue in the U.S. Just the creation of a single plant can have a major effect on the economy in the area it is in. According to Dr. Donis Peterson of the Nebraska Public Power District, an ethanol plant built to produce 100 million gallons per year will have the following results. 70 million to the local economy during construction, with the local economic base expanding an additional 70 million each year. At least 150 jobs created, household incomes in the area increased, along with millions increased in local, state, and federal taxes. This is just with a single plant. Currently, there are at least 115 plants in the U.S., with more being built each year. They are primarily located in the Midwest, where a majority of corn crops are grown, but with new technology allowing for other agricultural sources to produce ethanol, other areas of the country will be able to share in the economic benefits. My third and final point is that ethanol is better for the environment than gasoline. Because ethanol is an oxygenate, it helps regular gasoline burn more cleanly. According to Aragon National Laboratory, using either E10 or E85 fuel greatly improves air quality, and results have shown that ethanol can reduce carbon monoxide emissions by 10 to 30% and greenhouse gas emissions up to 85%. Because ethanol is cleaner than gasoline, it emits less hydrocarbons, nitrogen oxides, carbon monoxide, and hydrogen. Ethanol can not only help reduce smog formations, but it can also help prevent other air pollutants from gasoline. The Environmental Protection Agency stated that since ethanol can help reduce the country's greenhouse gas emissions, thereby reducing the nation's greenhouse gas emissions, thereby reducing the nation's contribution to global climate change and its potential effects on the U.S. economy, security, and public health. Finally, unlike fossil fuels, which take thousands of years to form, ethanol is a renewable resource because it is primarily based on corn crops grown in the U.S. Our country is going to continue to grow, and we need to figure out a way to meet fuel needs of the people in a beneficial way. All automobiles are currently fully compatible with E10 fuel, and some are compatible with E85. By investing in ethanol technology, we will not only reduce the need for importing oil, but we will help stimulate the economy and improve the environment. After hearing the points I made, I hope you will agree with me that America needs to invest in cost-efficient ethanol technology. Thank you.
All right, Louisa, go quickly because we want to get Daniel in tonight also. Very clearly stated proposition, excellent layout of what the supporting claims are going to be. Your internal signposts were clear. You're pretty consistent about citing the source citations. I'm not sure we got the economic issues as well developed as some of the other points. I thought you had a good, solid presentation, except for maybe the absence of any gestures. You're going to have that fig leaf pose a lot of the presentation. And, oh, sugar.